Oh, breaking news.
In game real time, it's hard to make that bang bang call 100%. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Sliders, your go to show for all things MLB, with a special eye on the Blue Jays and Giants. Today's episode, two milestones from two players and all star starters. Who is more deserving to be there? I'm Almar, and right here next to me is my co host Armando. Let's talk baseball.
Thanks, Almar. Let's go around the bases with this week's news.
Around the bases.
Almar, we had two milestones on Wednesday. Curtin Kershaw reached his 3,000 strikeout, and Aldomis Chapman reached his 350 save of his career. What are your What are your thoughts on those two milestones?
We've got to take a moment and give a massive shout out to two legends of the game who just hit some incredible milestones, like you said, Armando. First up, Clayton Kershaw, the man, the myth, the left-handed legend, has officially hit the 3,000 strikeout mark. That's right. Kershaw joins the elite club with Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander as the only active pitchers to reach that milestone. That 12-6 curveball, Armando, still absolutely filthy. Even this late in his career, a first ballot Hall of Famer. No question about it. Hats off to Kershaw. And while we're handing out the love, let's give it up for Aroldis Chapman too. The Cuban missile just recorded his 350th career save with Armando. Take this, 87.7% conversion rate and still touching triple digits
Wow.
at yeah, I know. Still touching triple digits at age 37. That's just unreal. Honestly, don't be surprised if the Blue Jays come calling at the trade deadline. Yeah.
Oh, snap! A
Yeah.
little.
He could be a huge piece at the back end of that bullpen.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah. Congrats to both Kershaw and Chapman, legends continuing to cement their legacies.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's give the love to those two legends. I think what both of them are their stats speak for themselves, you know. But what's most I saw Kershaw face the Giants plenty of times, even when in his peak, you know, like he just even with the World Championships teams that we have, we could not get to Kershaw. Like it was just I saw him just with one pitch alone, the curveball just completely shut the Giants down. I saw it year after year, and it's still painful, but it is impressive. I think one of what stands out to most is that he joins the left-handed club, 300 strikeouts. Randy Johnson, CC Sebastian, and Steve Carlton, pitcher from the Philadelphia Phillies. That's pretty impressive. Like only four left-handed pitchers, you know, like so, especially when they're so dominant, right?
Yeah, really rare for left-handed to be that dominant, especially with Kershaw. Kershaw normally pitches like mid 90s fastball, but like you said, the 12-6 curveball
Yeah, it's
devastating. It's hard to hit.
and I will have to add Kershaw um, has the highest winning percentage of that group of 34 pitchers have reached that milestone. So he's has the highest winning percentage, and he has thrown the fewest career innings with any 3K member. So that's pretty impressive. Those two stats stands out to me the most.
Yeah, and especially just pitching for one team, right, Armando? That's
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
For Chapman, he becomes the 11th um, reliever to reach this milestone of 350. Um, what impresses me the most about his career is that he has learned how to pitch at the end of his career. He's before he early, especially when he was with the Reds, it was all gas, just trying to see if he can hit the ball right, challenging batters. But later in his career, he has well, he has shown other pitches. He can touch the corners now. It's not all gas. He's an intelligent pitcher. That's where he could literally. He said he wants to reach out to 400 saves. He could probably get to that
Yeah,
the
he
way
can.
he's going.
Yeah, for sure. He can probably get to 400 saves here. He by the looks of it, he can probably throw for 2 more years.
Yeah, I think so too. Right. So hats off to those two legends in the game. All right, let's get into our next topic of the week, and this was a pretty big one. It came out to when the Diamondbacks were facing the the Giants. Fan interference. The Diamondbacks have banned the season ticket holder after the latest interference. What do you think of this season ban? All Major League Baseball games. What do you think of this? Too harsh for fan interference? Too lenient, just right, or what?
Well, just to answer the question for you before I
Yeah,
have my take on it, it's fair for the fan to be banned. You set the record straight for all the fans that if you interfere with a live ball, you'll get banned or you'll get canceled from the game. That's fair. Catching that foul ball or home run in the stands, that is something every baseball fan
yeah,
dreams
you're
for,
right.
man. I mean, come on, we've all had that moment where the ball's coming our way, and we're already practicing our celebratory wave for the camera, right, Armando?
Yeah,
But here's the thing: you gotta know your zone. The excitement is
yes,
real, but so is the risk. We've seen fan interference actually cost teams games, even playoff games. It's heartbreaking, not just for the team,
yes,
but
yeah,
imagine if you're the fan, your face goes viral for all the wrong reasons, and suddenly you're not the hero of the highlight reel, right?
yeah.
You're
I
the
think
villain
they,
now. You're the
yeah,
villain now of the franchise's worst memory. So yes, go for the catch, live that dream, but please don't reach over the wall and mess with the live play. Celebrate the moment,
yes.
not the team's heartbreak, Armando.
Yeah, I think the issue is that this fan has a reputation of doing this. This is the fifth time in the last two seasons, and he has over plus 12 interference in the last 5 years. I think that's the issue. So and this fan has become kind of like a celebrity. He joins the radio talk shows the following day of the posting. So he's actually helping the Diamondbacks because he only does it for the other team interference to get an out or whatever. So I saw this on like on Wednesday night or Tuesday night when they interfere. Like he everyone thought it was a home run, but then they challenge it and they show the interference, so they call it out. I was like, what the heck is what is going on? So that's the issue about the ban, right? So, but I think what pisses me the most about this fan who does this intentional is that he's costing players' careers here. Some of those players that he interferes, they're trying to make the big league roster, show that they have enough to stay on the show, not to go send back down. So I think he's costing players money, and that's what ticks me off about this.
Now that you mentioned that about that fan, he's notorious for doing it, and
Yeah,
he's proud of it too. So good on Arizona to ban him. Not just for one game, for the entire season. Because, like you said, this major league players are trying to make a living for their families, right? And you're
exactly.
affecting
So
that as well. So.
in another news, this is a pretty sad one. Guardians Luis Ortiz is being investigated for gambling. What um what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, there were two instances that I read that he was actually he was actually betting on what his pitches. So this is pretty bad if you're
Yeah.
betting betting against yourself or betting for yourself. It's bad enough that you're betting in baseball where you're playing. It's worse that you're betting betting on yourself, right? So
Right.
there was one video that I saw that when he struck out Volpe, he was pretty mad. So he was like, "Oh crap!" He probably
Oh,
lost a bet on that one.
yeah, that is actually pretty. Look, there's only one rule in baseball, and that is pretty simple. Don't bet on the game, right? If you do and you get caught, you will face a lifetime ban. That's we've seen it for decades right now, right? We talked about Pete Rose earlier in the season, right? So that is the rule. You do not bet on the game, and the fact is that you're pitching on certain innings, certain situations, and you're the first two pitches will be balls. Like that's that's pretty that's pretty. I don't know if you can explain that.
Yeah, we're laughing at it, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
a serious
seriously, yeah,
yeah it's a serious offense, like you said. Y- with gambling now attached to all the games now, it's hard because it's easily accessible now. But there's rules. That's why there's
yeah,
rules with players. So you have to follow those rules.
yeah. That is your job, right? So that is the requirements. Do you think there's more players though? Like with all the betting uh, apps and casinos, everything around us, there's some type of betting, gambling advertised. Do you think there's more players to do it, or this is just a one bad apple?
Oh, for sure. There are more players. I'm not saying everyone is betting on baseball, but everyone's probably betting on some
Well, it's so
sports.
easy, right? Like it's kind of like everybody. Like I have the apps, and like sometimes I'm watching basketball, and it's like, oh, you know, one quarter more, like what odds and like some player scored 10 points in that quarter, right? So it's like everything's around us, and for the players, they're also human, right? And they love sports. So
Yeah, which I don't get. Sometimes you're earning like hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe millions, and then you're trying to earn like 10,000 on a bet.
well,
So,
they need to pay off the bookie, right?
yeah,
So
oh yeah.
that's crazy, yeah.
Before we go sideways and mention other names, hush hush. But
Yeah. No, I just I'm just today I was just thinking about when we were preparing for for the show for the recordings. I'm thinking like it's everywhere around us, right? When we're watching the games or you go to the stadium, there's just like some gambling app. So maybe baseball should look into it. Maybe reducing because it's just like it's just a part of the game now, right? Every sport, like you mentioned.
yeah, turn off the Wi-Fi. Turn in the
Yeah.
locker room.
Right. All right. Well, let's go to our last topic, around the bases. And it wouldn't be a Saturday Sliders podcast if we didn't talk about the Dodgers, right? Or the Yankees. So, uh, Wednesday also, there was another sad news. Max Muncy was helped off with the knee injury. Um, he got tested, MRI came clean, so he was relieved. Uh, um, the manager, skipper, teammates were all relieved that it was nothing serious, but he will be out for 6 weeks. Um, where do the Dodgers go from here?
Are you asking me where the Dodgers go? Obviously, they're gonna trade for someone. So that's not a question. It's pretty bad that Muncy got injured. It's lucky that it was a sprained knee and not a torn ACL or a torn MCL. It looked pretty bad at first because the head collided with Muncy's knee. So that's good for Muncy and the Dodgers, but still pretty unfortunate for Muncy. But yeah, they're gonna look for internal candidates here with the Dodgers. But if this prolongs towards end of July, maybe they're gonna look for a third baseman of some sorts in the trade market.
Yeah, that's yeah. I think 6 weeks. Can you manage it, or does he? Is there delays? Like maybe you should trade for somebody, right? So I think what stands out the most, and obviously, I don't cheer for the Dodgers, right? But I don't mean any harm to the players, right? So I think what's more impressive about the Dodgers is that with all the injuries that they have, they're still in first place of the division. They're still considered the best team in the majors, one of the best teams, right? With all the injuries that they have, and they're getting healthier. Second half, like this might be just once again just a all-star team playing against the rest of the major leagues.
Yeah, if there's one team that can handle the injuries, it's the Dodgers.
Yeah,
They handled it last year when Mookie Betts got injured. So this is not a surprise now, Armando. This is an all-star team. So unless everyone goes down, which we don't wish on
right.
any players or any team. So, but unless everyone goes down with an injury, this Dodgers team can handle um can handle the adversities with
Right.
injuries.
No, it's true. So that's they can handle it, and they also their pockets are deep, so they can definitely make a trade if needed. Well, that is it for around the bases. If you like this content, please subscribe, follow, and like. It will help our channel grow. Thank you. Let's get into the topic of the week: the All Stars. The All Star starters came out. Um, let's um, let's get right into it. All right. So for the American League, we got on the outfields we got Javier Baez, Riley Green, and Aaron Judge. Your infielders for the American League is Jose Ramirez, Jacob Wilson, Graver Torres, and Vlad Jr. Uh, Catcher is Cal from the Mariners. And the only good thing about the Baltimore Orioles this season is Ryan O'Hearn as the DH. What what stands out? Who deserved it? Any snobs? Give me your breakdown for the American League.
First of all, congrats to all the players voted in as all-star starters. It's always exciting to see who made the cut and who will be representing their league under the bright lights. For the American League, honestly, I've got zero complaints here. The fans got it right. Um, with O'Hearn, he got locked out because that your Giants traded for Rafael Devers,
Yeah.
or else he won't be there. So
Oh, that's a good point.
I'm not sorry for the Orioles. They're
Yeah,
playing bad this year, but O'Hearn got locked out because 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 Devers is now with the Giants on
yeah.
the National League. So I got no complaints with American League here, Armando.
Oh, that's good because I do have some words. So, no, I'm just joking. I agree with you what you're saying. So there's no complaints about the American League. Um, there's some teams, some players that maybe they should have. Let's start with center field. Buxton, Buxton out of Minnesota Twins. He's arguably statistic. He's having a better season than Javier Lopez. But everybody has fallen in love with Javier Lopez, the return of him, right? He's having a comeback season. We talked about it a couple times in the podcast. So I think fans are just also feeling the same way about Javier Baez. But statistically, uh, there should have been maybe boxing should have been called up instead. But unless you watch baseball, unless you're a baseball fan and you don't know, that's good. I mean, you won't know about these players, right?
Yeah, good point there on Byron Braxton here, Armando, for the Minnesota Twins. Currently sitting at 19 home runs with 52 RBIs of the season. He's having a great season actually. But like you said, Javi Baez is playing center field, re-energizing his career after like two seasons or more of being being non-player with,
Yeah,
with the Tigers, right? So good on bias, but like I said, you make a good point with Byron Buxton here.
yeah. I'm glad for the other ones. I'm happy for Torres. He's having like a well. The whole team of the Detroit Tigers are having great seasons. You know, so Torres making second baseman, making the list is good. Wilson, I don't even know. Like the fans got it right here. He's batting close to 400. Um, Once again, one of those players that you would never know because he plays for the Athletics of Las Vegas, Sacramento, right? So like, I'm glad that happened. But I do have to say, I'm a fan of Vlad Jr. Right? So like, we talk about the Blue Jays, but what do you think of Aranda from the Tampa Bay Rays? Should he have the knob instead of Vlad Jr.? Statistically, he has, I believe he has more RBIs than Vlad Jr. So and better on base percentage.
Well, yeah, that was the argument here with the first base when the voting started. It was like Jonathan Aranda, but before Vlad Jr. got voted in, it was Paul Goldsmith of the New York Yankees who were like,
That's
"Oh, come
correct.
on, now we gotta do something about it." It's like it's either Jonathan Aranda or Vlad Guerrero Jr. But I think Canada voted for Vlad Guerrero Jr. But you make a good point with 316 batting average for Aranda and 45 RBIs with 10 home runs. You make a good case, but Vladimir Guerrero is up there with every first baseman amongst the league, right? So he's up there every year.
Right.
So
No, I agree with you. I'm a fan of Vlad Jr., like I said, right? So I think that's the only argument on first base, right? So, but let's just be real. This is a fan voting, and also this is a star. Fans want to see the stars, and Vlad Jr. is a star. So nothing to
yeah,
Arandas, but like
uh,
he's
with your question about the Detroit Tigers players getting voted in, the Jays and the Tigers Twitter were conniving with each other, voting for each other. They were like, "Oh, we have Destiny Friends." They're on X every time. I'm like that. That's the
that's
reason.
right.
That's probably the reason why.
That's awesome. All right, for the National League, I have a lot of problems with the National League. I feel there was a lot of snobs. Let me go by outfielders. We got Kyle Tucker, we got Pete, Crow Armstrong, and we got Ronald Acuna Jr. Infielders, Manny Machado, Francisco Lelon, Cartel Marte, and Freddie Freeman, first base. And of course, you got your catcher Will Smith and Shohei the DH. What? Give me your opinion on this. Who got
How you
robbed?
gonna
Who should it be who should it be rewarded instead of those players I
over
mentioned?
over in the National League, I've gotta say it. Where's the love for Hunter Goodman here? The Rockies catcher has been quietly raking
Oh
his
yes, I forgot
16
about him.
home
Yes.
runs, 16 home runs, 50 ribbies here on a struggling Colorado team. That kind of production deserves a little more recognition. Nothing against Will Smith here. I know we talk about the Dodgers all the time here, aka Nana Dodgers podcast here. It's
Yeah.
good. Will Smith's good, but we know these votes can turn into, like you said, popularity contest. But fingers crossed here, Armando, that Goodman still gets the call as a backup because let's be real, the guy deserves to be at the Midsummer Classic. That's the only position that
That's
I
right.
that I see that there's the fans made the wrong decision here with Will Smith, but that just have a lot of fans. So I feel for Goodman here, but he deserved to be a starter here.
Yeah, I think the Chicago Cubs are having a great season. You know, like there's some homegrowns there, right? So nothing to take away from Tucker. I mean, yeah, Chris Tucker and the other ones, but let's let's give some love to actually probably the biggest snub out of all the outfields is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. James Wood is batting a 292, 23 home runs, 67 RBIs. The rest of the outfielders don't have that, who are the starters. So obviously, once again, a small market like the Nationals, right? Like no one's really, and they have a losing record, so no one's really paying attention to them. So, but James Wood, he should have been a starter.
Yeah, there was one game that James Wood got like intentional walk like four times, I think.
Yeah,
Don't quote me on it. Yeah, there was one game. So yeah, like I said, James Wood is having a tremendous season. You make a good point there
yeah,
with outfielders. I think if you're gonna subtract one, I'm willing to subtract Ronald Acuna Jr. He just came
yes.
back from it. He just came back from
Exactly, and we know
injury.
that it's a popularity contest, you know. So yes, that's I think that's the issue too. It's like he just got back, right? Same thing with Mike Trout. Some people are calling him for him to start, but like it's like, what do you do there? Like should like those players just like take a step back and let the other people who are deserving the All start or
It's the fans that's voting. You and I are fans. I voted for
yeah.
them, but yeah,
So
if we're gonna subtract one from the outfield, it's Ronald
yeah.
Acuna Jr.
All right, so I think I'm just gonna reach a couple names that I think should have received a nod, but I won't spend too much. Is Machado? I would have gone with Suarez, third baseman out of Diamondbacks. Statistically, he's having a better season. De La Cruz, Ellie De La Cruz, um, podcast favorite. He's having a better statistic, better season than Lindor. And the last one, I think this was a debate all pretty much since last All Star. Is actually Peter Alonso from the Mets. Statistically, he's having a better season than Freddie Freeman. I think the only thing is that Freddie Freeman has a higher batting average, but the rest of the statistics, Peter Alonso is having a better season.
Yeah, I was looking into that as well when we were talking about this All Stars. Pete Alonso, I believe, is touching almost 20 home runs now, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah, he's a power hitter, Pete Alonso, the polar bear. So yeah, if we're just picking among between Freeman and Pete Alonso deserves love too.
yeah. So, anyways, I think for the American League, there's no really complaints, but in the National League, there's a lot of snobs, and it's fun. Players like fans like to talk about it, so that's why we have this podcast to talk about these things, right? So, but
Yeah,
definitely, a lot of
you're
players
just
got robbed.
you're just seeing too much red, Armando, because you're seeing Dodgers in the National League.
That is actually true. Like when I was, I would have been so mad if some players from the Dodgers would have been. So, anyways, that is all. That is our coverage of the All Star starters. Let's get into a Blue Jays and Giants updates.
Giants, Blue Jays.
All right, so it didn't get better with the Giants, Omar. it was I was pretty sad last week talking about the Giants, and this week same thing. And there was a lot of pain, and Giants are finding ways to lose games with fans interference or just key late mistakes in crucial times of the game. So the the Giants' bats are still were cold. They they were able to save the last two the last two games against the Diamondbacks because it was 4 game series. So they split there. That kind of brought the emotion. So okay, like we're Giants are gonna be fine. But before then, like Monday, because we lost the series against the White Sox, and then we got into one of our um, division rivals, and it was brutal. It just brutal that stretch, and after being swept by the Marlins, right? So, but anyways, the last 2 games, 2 nights, it seems like everybody's kind of starting to get warm up. You saw Young Hoo Lee had a triple, a couple of doubles, singles. He was actually he was a single short of the cycle on Thursday night, so that's really great. But yeah, like this team is chugging water right now, and who knew that trading for Rafael Devers that the Giants' bats offense was going to get worse. Like that's how brutal it is. Like Giants fans were mad because Devers is having a rough start to his career with the Giants. He struck out 4 times. One of those games against the Diamondbacks and and all were runners in scoring positions, and he cannot got. And he has said it like I'm pressing, like I'm. There's a lot of pressure. Like of course you new team, you want to impress everybody, right? So, but it's good to see that like William Adames is getting out of his funk, right? So it's good. Young Lee is starting to hit the ball back again, right? And a couple other players, right? They're starting to Patrick Bailey. There was talks about him trading him, right? Like after a Gold Glove season last year, but he's batting out under 200, and that is not good enough, right? So he had a couple triples in the last series. So Giants bats are starting to warm up, but like I think everybody's kind of excited because they see the flashes the Giants have, and it's like, man, when Chapman comes back, this team is gonna look so much different. So I think that's where they're kind of the owners and Busapose and Matt Bowman, they're all saying we have some time. We need to have Chapman back, and this team is going to look a lot different.
Yeah, what's the news with Chapman? I saw the news today. So
He is. It's just as he's getting closer. They talked about maybe returning for this series against the Sacramento A's. Now they're saying maybe after this series. So at this point, it's kind of like, well, I guess it all depends, right? So if the Giants can able to just win some series again, maybe you hold them up into the All-Star break, right? So, but that's still like 2 3 weeks away. So what do you do there? Some people are saying after the A series he will come back. So I'm not sure what's the best option, but right now the Giants, plain simple, the Giants just need to start hitting. They need to start getting on base. They need to start scoring runs. This team right now, they're not scoring more than 2 runs, and they're I think against one of the Marlins, I think I talked about it. There were 4 for 37 against the Marlins in scoring position. So that's just not going to cut it, right? So, but they're trying to encourage this team as much as possible. And one of those was that Malvin got extended his contract. Um, and that was I like that the Giants did that because they're trying to encourage the team. At least that's the way I take it. But the owner said, the Giants owner, he did say like the noise was getting loud that Giants should let go of the skipper. But the Giants made it clear, no, Bob is our coach. He's our guy. He believes in this team, and Buster Posey is sticking with them. So it's not a long extension. It carries into the 26-27 season. So what are your thoughts on that?
well, when I saw the news, it was just kind of odd timing when Bob Melvin, your manager, got extended. Like I mentioned to you when we were exchanging notes there, you because you just got swept by the Marlins, like you said, and and your skipper got an extension afterwards. It was like,
Normally
okay,
it's the other way around, right?
everyone. So it was just an odd timing,
Yeah.
but Bam Melvin is a good skipper, like you said, and you need stability on the
Yes.
bench to show your team that we're still on this thing in this thing together, right? So
So
yeah,
yeah,
I
and that's what it
that
is, right?
one. It was just an odd timing, like I mentioned.
Right. So that was, I think that was the two biggest topics of of the week. The third one is the what do we do with the Giants pitching staff right now? 1 through 3 is kind of solid, but the back end with Birdsong, he's having a sophomore slump. Um, all young pitchers have it, right? So your rookie year, you make flashes, you impress everybody, and it's hard to follow that. So right now, Birdsong is just not pitching well, and I don't think the Giants have the options to start him again, which he goes tomorrow or Sunday, right? So, but at this point, he's just losing games for the Giants, and he's saying there's nothing mechanical. There's no pain. I think he's just not focused right now. Like for whatever reason, it's mental errors that he's making. So, and the other pitcher staff, our fifth starter is Justin Verlander. We talked about him. He's a Hall of Famer, right? So not, but the last 3 games, and right now they're playing against the Angels. He got rocked already. So the last 4 games he has started, he has either the Giants are not hitting the ball, but he has allowed a lot of runs, costing the to overuse the pen. And what do you do? Like even with them, right? So like especially when you have other pitching options to go. So what do you think? What are the Giants should do with actually with the Hall of Famer Justin right now? So with the
You,
sub, right? Like because there's been talk about the Giants trade line because there's just a lot of noise that the Giants are not done. So what do you do? Like do you trade like a Justin Verlander to a different team? Maybe that they have a better offense, right?
Yeah, maybe you can package Justin
Yeah.
Verlander here. Well, to get a bat or to get a backup catcher at least. To spell Bailey, like you said, he's been struggling at the plate here. Like you mentioned, don't look at the box score. You'll just throw away your phone. Like I said, he got Verlander got rocked today. So it's not looking good for you today. But yeah, unless you can plug Justin Verlander in your pen before the playoffs, then you can do that. But I think it's time for the Giants to move Justin Verlander. Um,
Uh, yeah, I think so too, right? So,
maybe you can move him to the Detroit Tigers and make a push there.
yeah,
That
that's
would
actually
be
pretty.
nice.
That's a pretty good like for him to go back, right, to his
Mhm.
roots. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think for also Birdsong, I think it's just like that he has options, right? So it's not like he can go back to AAA and figure out. It's really hard to adjust mechanically or to work on things command when you're pitching in the majors, right? So you don't have the time going down to AAA, working on your crafts because you only play 3 games a week, right? So you have more time to work on your mechanics, your control the ball, right? So I think he has options for adjusting. I think yeah, I don't think he can make the way it's going, I don't think is the best option. I think if the Giants make a trade, it'll probably be a um, a package deal.
Yeah, maybe you can package Birdsong with Justin Verlander.
Oh no,
But yeah,
that's not no, no. I'm like no to
I'm
that.
just
That's
I'm
terrible advice.
no, I'm just looking at Birdsong stats right now. 4.30 ERA. That's not good. That's not gonna cut it. Maybe send him down for a brief minor league here,
Mhm.
stint just to hone down the pitches and calm him down a bit, right?
Right. So yeah, so it's tough. It's been tough seeing the back end of the rotation just struggling like that. So especially when your team is now scoring runs and they're losing games now, right? Um, Almost 3 weeks ago, the Giants were tied with the Dodgers for first place in the division, and they in 3 weeks things look completely different. All right, this is just like they're just doing a lot of mental errors. So, but you know what? They're giving some players rest because I think that's what they needed. Um, that's what they need, right? So that Willie Thomas have take some days off. Ramos, um, Young Lee, like so, but I think having a couple of games off has actually kind of helped mentally. So because they're doing better, so maybe that's what they need. Birdsong needs a little rest.
Yeah, we you mentioned this earlier on the year. Your pitchers are they rely upon your defense, and like the 3 weeks it coincide with Matt Chapman being gone.
Yeah, that is also true.
So that's the probably one of the main reason your platinum gold glove third baseman goes down, and now your pitchers are like, I don't trust my third baseman. I'm not saying they
No,
don't.
no, that is
Yeah.
absolutely true. Yeah,
So they're probably like really trying their best to like pitch well, but sometimes if you're really trying hard, that's where you make mistakes.
yeah. So I think that's where it is. Like all this has turned around because Chapman is not in the lineup. He is the team of the on the field and off the field. He is the captain, so he's the leader, and not having him has kind of hurt the team quite a bit. So hopefully he can come back and kind of help this team out because definitely they need him.
Yeah, like I said, trade for Alex Bregman.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see what happens in the next week. uh, Anyways, that is it for the Giants update. I'll pass it on to you to the Blue Jays update.
All right, Armando. Time for your Blue Jays update. Um, and what a ride it's been. Let's rewind to May when the Jays were sitting 25 and 27, fourth in the AL East division, and 8 games behind the mighty Yankees. Now, fast forward to this week, and boom, the Jays just swept the Yankees in a 4-game series at home for the first time in franchise history, and now sit atop the AL East. Like you mentioned, Armando, 3 weeks, a month can flip your series around. This Jays flip the switch after that 13 nothing loss. They flipped that switch, and they never looked back. Hopefully it keeps rolling. This is the first time since 2016 the Jays have held the division lead this late in the season, and with 50 wins through 88 games, they're on pace we haven't seen since the magical 93 season. What's fueling this surge, Armando? Addison Barger, the lefty bat, has been a revelation, providing a serious pop and showing off the glove at third and right field. And how about George Springer, Armando? We were
Yeah,
ready to write him off
he's
early, but
he's
he's
playing
reminded
great.
us who he is.
Yeah.
Against the Yankees. Against the Yankees, Armando, 4 home runs, 11 RBIs, 571 batting average, and a ridiculous 2.095 OPS. So
Yeah.
Uncle George, we owe you an apology there.
You know
Um,
what? He started playing better because well, in my opinion, his season started turning around because he was playing some great defense, and that encourages players when they go back to the plate. They carry that momentum. So
Yep, and moving him down the
the
batting
lineup,
line really helped him. Um, and now it's another task with the Jays welcoming the LA Angels in town. The Jays won tonight 4-3 in extras on a sacrifice bunt and a throwing error by the pitcher. And now they sit 2 games up on New York and Tampa after both teams lost earlier today. The rest of the pitching matchup, I'll just
Yeah.
run it right now against the Halos. Saturday we have Jack Koch- Kochanowicz. If I butchered your name, I'm sorry. It's hard. It's a tongue twister versus Mad Max. Yes, Scherzer's back. And Saturday we have Tyler Anderson versus Kevin Gossman. It's time to put the pedal to the metal and keep pushing for the AL East crown. Let's go, Jays. Like we mentioned last week, Armando. When we were talking about the trade deadline, right? If you're looking at just making the playoffs, why not look at getting that AL East division, right?
Yeah.
They
Uh,
have a chance to get a grip on it. Hopefully, it continues. Like you said, 2, 3 weeks, a month can flip your series around. Like
yeah.
it's just the Giants went the other way. The Jays
Yeah.
are flying high right now, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think I was pumped on the first game that they beat the Yankees. Man, I was pumped, and I was like, and I said it last week when what which team they should make a trade. It's the Toronto Blue Jays, in my opinion. Like, they're playing, like I said last week, they're playing the on paper the way they should be playing. But now this week they just follow up and they're just hot now. So this they should not be the Blue Jays, in my opinion, should not be contending for a wild card spot. They should be going after the division because it's within reach.
yeah, and the addition, you feel it with Mark
Yeah,
Scherzer there. It's like when he was pitching, he was like going after Aaron Judge. He was like, he's not beating me.
yeah,
He's not beating me at all, right? So
yeah,
it's a playoff atmosphere, and you see it with Max Scherzer, and he knows how to pitch in big
yeah.
games. So yeah, it really helps.
No, it's and also too, like yesterday I was out, uh, and people are just overhearing people like there were some people like saying like, oh man, the Blue Jays swept the Yankees, the Blue Jays. So there's a lot of momentum here in Canada after the Blue Jays. So that's exciting, and we know we have seen when the Blue Jays do well, the whole not just Toronto, like the whole country of Canada is supporting the Blue Jays. So that's exciting to see. It's electrifying.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that one of us is currently happy right now. well, well,
Yes,
well,
we have switched.
your Giants is not far off. They're only sitting half game back on the wild card. So but there's still things to work on. Every
Yeah,
game is different anyway. So
exactly. So, and yeah, you're right. We're only standing half a game back because the Marlins have, I mean the Mets have been pretty much as bad as the Giants this last month. So that helped.
yeah, it's just with the addition of Devers, I think
Yeah,
he is pressing way too much, I believe. Trying to trying to make a name right away where in San
yeah,
Francisco,
I think so
which
too.
won't work.
But
Which won't
I do have to remind everybody is that he started the season pretty bad. Like remember we were talking about like he went like hit less than 11 games or striking out like 14 times in a row. So like we have seen this type of slump, but we have also seen when he gets out, when he gets going, he can carry a team.
Yeah, Devers no team is happy. No team is happy that Devers went to the Giants and the Jays because because he's been tormenting the Jays forever. So when he got traded, we were like, okay, let's go.
It's funny because like this week, Giants fans were pretty pissed off this week, right? So like he struck that 4 times in a row, like in one game, and they was like, "What? He swings at everything. And what the report of Devers was that he's a smart hitter. It's hard for him to get him out, and he's just swinging on everything the opposing pitcher is throwing. So it's like I was like, oh, there were some people questioning the move.
Where I haven't followed Devers and the Giants lately. Where is he batting in your lineup?
They've been playing around from leadoff, second, third, fourth. So he's at the top of the lineup for sure. He hasn't moved down that much, but normally it's leadoff or second at this
Oh,
point.
yeah, I think leadoff is not his spot. Maybe
Uh,
second or third in the lineup
Yeah, so
would do him. But again, you don't have Chapman right now, so you have to play.
yeah, and it's also like there's been a lot of like I said, like with Yahoo Lee, he was batting lead off, and he's been struggling, right? So like they couldn't continue, so that's why they've been kind of shifting. It's been a lot of shifting in the last since Chapman went down, right?
Yeah, once Chapman gets in, I think everyone falls in to their own position there, and hopefully you can start winning games and start hitting
Yeah,
runners in scorer position. That's
yeah,
critical. That's critical
yeah.
for you.
It's like I said, like it's plain and simple. They just need to hit the ball, right? So and good things happen when you hit the
Yeah,
ball. So
yeah. Just if your pitching is not there, I mean Logan Webb and Robbie Ray, they're doing their best.
yeah,
Robbie Ray got a complete game last game that he pitched. So,
yeah,
but
he did. He
but
did
if your
great.
yeah, but if your pitching is not there and you're not hitting, that's terrible. That's gonna lose you some games.
And the Giants fans needed that. Like even just the team as well. Like they needed a good news like a complete game. A three hitter, by the way, three hitter. So that's impressive. His first one uh, since I think his last complete game he had was when he was with the Diamondbacks. So that's a long time, right? So yeah, let me check.
Was he the Diamondbacks or was he with Seattle?
He's been around.
I
He's
know,
been around.
I know he pitched. He won Cy Young with the Jays, but
Yeah. So yeah. So but anyways, we needed him. So and to calm the waters, and that's what a true ace does, right? So that's amazing. He's having a great season, that's for sure. I'm not gonna say Cy Young award because there's definitely good pitchers out there, and with a much better, more star power, right? So like Skeens, right? He has the popularity, right? So it's kind of like I think somebody to like Robbie Ray it will be hard to take him more, but he's having a great season, so that's good.
yeah, good to see Robert Ray pitching well again after two subpar seasons. I think he got injured too, so
Oh yeah, he was injured for like the Giants traded for him like this is his third year, the last year of his contract, and the Giants were patient with him. So
yeah, good to see Robert Ray pitching well.
perfect. Well, that is it for around the bases with your Giants and Blue Jays updates.
Yeah, next week, next week we'll probably run through the trade deadline if whether or not which teams like Armando mentioned the Jays probably is that one team that are looking to add more to their batting lineup and their pitching, but we'll look at other teams too as well. Maybe the Giants need more bats there. We'll look at the trade deadline and who's available, which team should take advantage of the players moving. We'll talk about that next week. Again, thank you for watching Saturday Sliders. We'll see you next week.